Not sure this story is of a paranormal nature, but I have seen this person on 2 occasions. I've never experienced hallucinations. I am of sound mind, and I do not do drugs. The first occasion was around October. I go to my weekend job pretty early at 4 a.m., and I wake up around 3 to take my dog outside to do his business. My dog is hyper-aware of anything and everything and barks at any noise, including a door shutting or a bird landing near him. I was standing on my back deck, and I saw a figure moving down the dark alley. This was a chilly morning in October, and it was raining heavily. I hardly ever see anyone else out in my neighborhood at this time because it's a pretty small town, especially walking in such heavy rain. I look over, and the man walking is wearing what looks to be a full-body bunny costume, kind of like the kid in A Christmas Story. Giant bunny feet and ears and everything, but it sort of also reminded me more of the character in Donnie Darko. Now he's probably 200 to 300 feet away. He was walking in a manner that was just unsettling and unnatural looking to me, sort of stomping and swaying from side to side very mechanically with an arched back. Then, after I observed him for about 5 seconds, it was like he sensed that I was looking at him. He turned around, and I could not make out if he had a mask on or what, but it was not a normal human face. I know I was far away, but I became terrified. I have an above-ground pool in my yard. My dog was to the left of it, so he wasn't seeing this bunny man or reacting at all. I start to pull his leash to get him to come back up on the deck to go back in the house. This was all within the same 10-second or so span of the bunny man turning around. I look over in its direction again, and he is behind a tree staring at me in my next-door neighbor's yard. The tree is a pine or some kind of evergreen. I could see most of his body, and even could sense his face still peeking through the needles. Now this is about 50 feet from me, right behind my fence. And it didn't make any sense that he could move that fast in a matter of just a few seconds. I would have seen him running over there. At this point, I didn't even want to go outside and get in my car to go to work, but I had to. I was pretty scared the rest of the morning, but later just convinced myself it was a hallucination. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep, or maybe it was just a weird guy on drugs or something trying to scare people. I tried to forget about it, but then recently I was walking my dog at Fernicliff State Park. It was in the afternoon, in the bluffs along the Mississippi River in southern Illinois, probably about 30 minutes from my house. There is an old wooden cabin-style building on the property grounds near the parking lot. We had been there for about an hour and a half, and my dog was panting pretty heavily. He has a thick fur coat, and I forgot to bring water in a bowl for him, so I decided to turn back. When we were almost back to my Jeep, I looked up at the cabin, and sure enough, this same bunny man was walking in the same unsettling manner. He's walking away from us along a trail that runs along the left side of the cabin if you're facing it. This time, my dog barked at him, so I know I wasn't the only one seeing him. It was crazy. I couldn't believe I saw him again. My dog is a very big and strong Great Pyrenees, so I'm pulling him as hard as I can and sort of sprinting to the car, which is just about 100 meters away. I turned around for one brief second, and the bunny man was on the other side of the cabin now, peeking his head around the corner. I didn't get a great look at his face, but it looked sinister. I saw no recognizable features besides a terrifying grin and large dark eyes, but it was obscured by the shadows of the roof and the nearby trees. I still don't know what this experience means. I don't know if it's just a weird person that is trying to scare people and just happened to be at the same place as me twice, or if there truly is some kind of dark entity that looks like a giant bunny monster making himself known to me for some reason. I tried to tell a few close friends about my experiences, and nobody believed me. I also have no proof. The first time was raining, and my phone was inside. This time, I didn't even think about pulling my phone out and snapping a picture when both my hands were occupied, pulling on my dog's leash and running.
This is wild and terrifying. Like seeing a clown late at night in a dark alley, I'm sure seeing a person in a rabbit costume is equally as terrifying. You have two options really. One, you're losing your mind and seeing things, or this is a real person, late at night, in a dark alley, in the rain. Either way, it's not a great situation and one I hope I'm never in. Then, on top of that, seeing it again while on a hike, I'd be scared to go outside ever again. What if it's closer to what Frank the Rabbit from the cult classic Donnie Darko represented, an embodiment of the dark, destructive side of Donnie? Here's another thought on what this might be. It's been reported that entities, like an alien, cryptid, or the like, will disguise themselves as something familiar or non-threatening to the viewer, although seeing a man-sized rabbit is anything but non-threatening. I'd love to know what you think in the comments.